Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us for Inside Tulsa Athletics. A very interesting show lined up for you today as we're going to visit with head coaches from both boys and girls basketball. Also, we're going to visit with the coach about the Palm Squad at Edison High School, and they came away with a state championship. And then we'll bring aboard Mick Wilson, Assistant Director of Athletics for the Tulsa Public Schools, and he'll talk about what has happened with the Tournament of Champions and also look at the BOK Showcase coming up very soon here in Tulsa. And then we'll close the show with Gil Cloud, Director of Athletics for the Tulsa Public Schools, as he brings us up to date on what's happening in high school athletics throughout the state of Oklahoma. Stay with us. Thank you. Enjoy the show, and we'll be right back. We continue inside Tulsa Athletics as we welcome aboard Randy Rutherford. He's the head basketball coach at McLain High School. And Randy, always a pleasure having you aboard. And the fact that you have a group of kids that have not had a lot of playing experiences, but now they're beginning to come together, aren't they?
Oh, there's no question about that. I mean, as a coach, when you go into a program, you have a lot of moving parts and you lose 90% of your offense and 90% of your defense, you have to start back over. But these young men are really buying into what we're doing and playing really well now.
And coaching, as you see those kids begin to develop, it's really satisfying, isn't it?
Well, that's the one thing about coaching. And I always say, I teach the game of basketball, I don't coach it. So teaching it to them and letting them see the benefits of doing it the right way and things work out for them, of course, it's exciting for us to see the work we're putting in and it's showing up.
Well, you had mentioned earlier the fact that you have some seniors that had not played basketball, and yet they're out there playing, and that has to be kind of rewarding for you.
It is rewarding. We got some seniors that's playing for the first time, and to get them out there playing and understanding there's a lot of work. It's a process they got to go through. And helping those young guys along with the seniors is basically I got a very young team. Even though they're seniors in grade-wise, but basketball-wise, they're very inexperienced.
And when you take a look at what goes on in that area, the fact that these kids that are pleasing you now just get you fired up to where, as you coach the younger kids, that you want to bring them along as well.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's the one thing about coaching is that every year you're going to get new kids, younger kids. Mm-hmm. And so if you can get those young kids early and put them in the fundamentals and get them working hard and playing the right way, then it helps your school going forward.
Do you think that this is going to filter down into the elementary schools, that the kids will start playing and then suddenly they want to play for the high school?
I hope so. That's my plan going forward, is for us to really get down to the grassroots of the communities and get with these elementary schools around North Tulsa and get to know who's interested in basketball, giving some free clinics in the summertime, and really building the brand of McLain High School basketball.
And Randy, you were talking, your schedule is tough. You are classified 4A according to the Oklahoma Secondary School Activity Association, so you will play 4A district games, but now where you're playing 5A schools and 6A schools, when you get back to 4A, it ought to be a little better for you.
I think so. I mean, that's one thing that I've always enjoyed about playing against good competition. Competition makes you better, makes you compete better. So even though my record doesn't say as well as my guys are playing, we play against upper class 5A and 6A, but also it helps us in the long run. So when we get down to 4A, we feel more comfortable going against the best teams in 4A because we played against some really good talent.
Well, now you've won a couple of games here recently.
We have. We beat Nathan Hale Friday night, and so that was exciting for us. We were talking about getting off to the new year with a good win. So that was the first win of the new year, so we're 1-0. It's a new season. We're all excited about that.
How does the kids practice when they come back from a win?
Well, I won't know that till today, but I hope they practice the way I want them to practice because we play tomorrow. So it'll be all defensive order in it. We have about an hour, 15 minutes today, so we'll get ready for East Central tomorrow.
Who do you play? East Central tomorrow?
East Central tomorrow.
And East Central has been good, and sometimes they haven't been real good, but it's going to be a good game for you.
It's going to be a good game for us. It's another opportunity for us to go out there and get better. win or lose, but keep working on the fundamentals and really focusing on our defensive effort. And I think if we do the things that we work on every day, we have a good shot at winning.
Do you have some players that maybe when you first started, the fact that they now are so much better than they were, and maybe you didn't think they would reach this point, and now they've got a few more games to go, they could be much better?
Well, yeah, like I said, I have a lot of guys that hadn't played, but I got a lot of guys that showed a lot of promise and got better. I mean, Brendan is a kid that hadn't played very much in the last 5 years. You know, he's averaging a double-double sometimes. And then I got a little freshman guard, Correll Records, who's a really good shooter. Another guard, Keywan, is a really good shooter. And so I got some guys that going forward that McLain looks pretty bright.
Randy, when you take a look at them, those kids that are pleasing you now that will be back next year, what will they do over the summer?
Well, one thing, like I tell them, I said, I'm excited about the summer, so I can put them in a summer program that I do, that I've done for many, many years, that can really develop their skill level, get them in the weight room, and just let them know what it's about being a high school athlete trying to go to college, the preparation that it takes, how you got to work on your body, you got to work on your skills. So we're all excited about the off season, but right now we're going to enjoy this new year of basketball and try to keep winning.
How about the young man in football that went to Alabama?
Oh, Jacobs. Oh, that's impressive. And that's one thing I think Tulsa in general, but McLain should really embrace that and let those kids know that there's great opportunities for you. You got one of your own that went here, that's played in 3 national championship games, won a national championship. So, I mean, that's impressive just to say that, you know, and that no, he walks these halls. So I definitely use that to my advantage as a coach to tell these young men what they need to do to try to get to that level.
And, you know, Randy, I can see that to be very, very important, and I can see that those kids would start using that as something they want to become.
Absolutely.
It's always a pleasure having you aboard. Best of luck.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Stay with us on Inside Tulsa Athletics. When we come back, we're going to visit with Wes Hamilton, head girls basketball coach at Hale High School. That's next, Inside Tulsa Athletics.
Stuff. When you don't want it, what do you do with it? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. There, you'll learn what to do with stuff you don't know what to do with. Just give us a click. TulsaRefuse.org. It's what you do when you don't know what to do with stuff.
My dad's always saying a little extra effort now will really pay off later. Here's how you can put in just a little extra effort and help out our schools in a big way. Just switch your checking account to TTCU. It's easy, and every time you use your school pride card, TTCU donates to our schools. So far, over $1 million. They're the only ones doing that. So make the switch to TTCU and be the person who's making a difference for our schools.
Are you suffering from stuff? Stuff you don't know how to get rid of? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. Learn how to get rid of stuff easily and properly. TulsaRefuse.org. Just give us a click. It's that simple.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics as we continue talking basketball, and welcome aboard Wes Hamilton, who is the head basketball coach at Nathan Hale High School, head girls basketball coach. And Wes, when I take a look at what you have done, where you won only a few games last year, you are 5-5 this year. The kids are responding, aren't they?
Yes, they are. They really are. I'm excited about this year, and actually for next year as well.
Well, how many kids will you return for next year?
I'll return 13 kids next year.
So what you are doing now, they will be accustomed to
That's right.
next year. And you're 5-5 this year?
Yes, I am.
And
yes, we are.
Well, have you lost to some pretty tough teams?
Oh, yeah. We one of the things that I learned is scheduling. Not jumping in there playing a whole bunch of 6A schools when you're a 5A school, but you know, just lesson learned. It has a lot to do with scheduling and who you. Of course, we need to play talented schools to see where we are, but too much.
But I mean, sometimes in tournaments, that doesn't give you the confidence that you want your kids to have.
Right.
When you take a look, kind of talk about the kids that have come along for you. It seems to me like that once you get to the middle of January, that you've had some kids that back in October and November, before you really got into it, you kind of thought, well, maybe and maybe not. And suddenly they've come along. Do you have some kids that fit that?
Well, pretty much all the girls. as you know, when I first got there, they had no fundamentals whatsoever. And so I spent a lot of times teaching how to make layups, how to pass, how to jab step, boxing out. I mean, every aspect of the game was just strictly fundamentals. And I think last year we probably led the league in turnovers. And so teach them how to pass the ball and trying to develop court awareness and making sure that they're where they're supposed to be on the floor and what to do when they get there. So,
And Wes, that has to be very gratifying to you when you saw them when they would make so many mistakes, bad passes, probably double dribble, walking, bouncing it off their toe.
All of that
and now
happened.
suddenly they're beginning to do that. From a coaching standpoint, that is really, really satisfying, isn't it?
well, the great thing is watching them develop, you know, and buying into understanding that they need these fundamentals. And because most of these girls, they don't play on AAU teams. They don't go and hang out in the gym and play pickup basketball. The only time they see a ball is when they're with me. And so it's even that more important that I develop them fundamentally. I've got some girls that was there last year, like Valerie James and Tiana James, the James sisters, what they call them, that has really stepped up. Tiana, of course, she's going to be out for the season, but she learned some post moves and this drop step and up and under. And she was our leading scorer until last week. She's going to be out for the year now. But we've got girls like Michaela Smith, that's a junior, that's coming back next year. That's a really exceptional defensive player. Matter of fact, in the McLain game, her 2 steals at the end of the game was what helped us win. And we also got girls like, let's see here. Anyway, names are not coming. But yeah, we do have some kids that are really developing. The best thing about this group of girls is all of them are juniors, except for the senior that's not coming back. And so we'll finish up. We got about 10 more games to go, and we'll finish up this season. And then they'll all be back next year, and they'll be that much better. And we'll be more competitive next year.
Well, what do you have down below that coming up?
I'm looking at a couple of kids that'll be coming in as freshmen in the middle school that's going to come and help out. We have 2 sophomores that are really coming around pretty good. That's it's going to really help us out. Because one of the neat things is if I can bring 2 or 3 kids every year as a freshman, then that will help us to continue to build. And now we have a middle school coach in the middle school that I put in there to make sure that they're going to get the fundamentals that they need when they get up to the high school.
And
So-
if they've got those fundamentals,
Yes.
then you can implement your ideas of what needs to be done.
That's
to win.
right. That's right. That's right.
Well, when you take a look all over, are you happy with the way that they have advanced under your direction?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think when I first took the job, I knew that it's going to be a lot of work. I knew that, and it's paying off. I mean, we got 5 wins. I expect to win 3 more games, maybe 4 more games before the end of the season, and it's pretty much a complete turnaround. So.
Well, and as you approach the playoffs, it's always a lot of fun to know that you might be winning 2 or 3, you might advance to the next one, and once that starts and the girls get in the habit of it, then next year it's going to be the same thing.
But we're talking, if we can if we can win 3 or 4 more games, we can get a good seed. Maybe we get through that first game.
Yeah,
You get through that first game, you get 2 more games.
that's right.
So our goal now is to try to win 3 games, maybe 4 games, get a good seed, and have an opportunity to get through that first game. So,
Wes, we appreciate you being aboard. Look
Yes, sir.
forward to seeing you again.
yes, sir. Thank you.
Stay with us on Inside Tulsa Athletics. When we come back, Clarence Glover, head girls coach at Central High School, aboard on Inside Tulsa Athletics.
Stuff. When you don't want it, what do you do with it? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. There, you'll learn what to do with stuff you don't know what to do with. Just give us a click. TulsaRefuse.org. It's what you do when you don't know what to do with stuff. Are you suffering from stuff? Stuff you don't know how to get rid of? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. Learn how to get rid of stuff easily and properly. TulsaRefuse.org. Just give us a click. It's that simple.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics as we continue talking basketball, and we want to welcome aboard the head girls coach at Central High School, Clarence Glover. And Clarence, when we take a look at what is going on in girls basketball, sometimes the record does not indicate what is going on and how much positive effects that the coaching has with the kids.
Yes, our motto this year is trust the process. So we just laying the foundation this year. We have some young girls. We're playing, suiting up 6 freshmen this year. We only have maybe a couple of seniors. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be a process of these girls just taking these baby steps to get better each and every day we come to practice. And that's what I enjoy. I enjoy the process of even coming to practice to see these girls improve from day to day. The process is going to be what it is. We know that, the coaching staff, we know that. But these 6 freshmen are going to gain a lot of experience going forward, moving forward. And I enjoy it. I enjoy it.
Well, you know, Clarence, you mentioned something that I think is so important, the fact that even though maybe you are not coaching players that's going on and play on a college level, but the point that you have made where every day when you go in, they're a little better than they were before. Now, you've coached boys basketball for a long time.
Yes,
so
sir.
Coming in like this, you know what they have to do to be able to be better. And what you're saying, I think is so interesting, and I can understand how much fun you are having coaching them, even though the record's not what you would want, but at the same time, you enjoy working with them every day.
What gives me gratification is when the girls say, well, Coach, I did this, what you told me to do, and it applies in the game, and that's the enjoyment that I get from it. Of course, they didn't win a game at all last year, so we have won 2 games up to this point so far. So just the progress that they have made as to just the things we apply in practice, and when they see themselves doing it in the game, that's the enjoyment of it. Because did you see when I did a jump stop, I did that triple threat, I made a block shot. So that in itself is progress, and that's how we can ask as a coaching staff, is to see the progress of each and every one of these girls from day to day.
And you know, I think that is so important. I think a lot of times fans don't understand that maybe. But at the same time, when you can see what you worked hard on with them in a basic fundamental,
Yeah.
and then they do it, not that they win the game, not that maybe they made the basket, but they did what was right. And you know that if they continue to do that, the ball is going to get to the net, and they're going to be able to stop the other people, and all that your work is going to be worth it.
It's all about the girls. You know, they come to work each and every day. I'm proud of their efforts. They come in and there's no excuses. I tell them, ain't no excuses. So they come here and try to get better each and every day. And as a coaching staff, as a coach, that's all I can ask from them. Like I say, we're a young team. So these freshmen that's coming in, they don't know the process as of yet, but we teach them the process of getting better. So, you know, they got to play freshmen, they got to play junior varsity and varsity. So they're getting all the reps that they need. So the progress that they're making from game 1 to game 15, which we play Webster Friday, just I see the growth in them, and their confidence starts to grow. And that's all we can ask as a coach, that, hey, y'all are making progress in your confidence. You're gaining confidence in your abilities. So that's the thing that we ask as a coaching staff, that just continue to get better.
And as they do, you want it to back up and go down and get them playing in the junior high school, even maybe down into the grade school, whereas they come up and they can be looking forward to coming and playing at Central High School.
Well, we know that as a coach staff coming in, that it's going to start from the junior high level to build the program. So we working diligently to look at these young ladies that's in 7th grade, 8th grade, to start developing them. So when they become freshmen, they know the system already. So that's the thing that we got to work diligently, myself and my staff, to get these young girls involved in the progress and the process of knowing what we want and expect of you as a Central Brave, a Lady Central Brave.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where it's going to start at.
Well, when you take a look, and as the kids come in, have you noticed that even though the win-loss record is not what you would like for it to be, but having won 2 and lost 12, when they come in, they enjoy the practice and know they are getting better.
They are. That's what, being from the boys' side, you know, wins and losses as a coach was what I predicated, you know, success of the season. But dealing with my first year with girls, dealing with them, it's not about the wins and losses. It's about the progress of these girls, the glow on their face when they do something that we ask them to do, and they achieve those goals that we ask them. That's the enjoyment for me as a coach that I love.
Clarence, when you take a look at what you've done, having coached in the boys, having the success that the Central boys have had, but to see these kids begin to improve and know that what you are doing is good for them, that's what a good teacher's all about anyway, isn't it? That where you can see progress being made. And, you know, just in talking to you, you seem very happy.
I'm happy. Cause
you seem very content, and you seem very excited about what's going to happen with the Central Braves girls. And I'm going to be watching and holding and seeing what you really do.
I hope so, because I'm excited for these young ladies. It's not about me. It's just for these young ladies that the progress that they're making. I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
The progress that the improvements they're making each and every day, and the smiles that on their faces when they do something positive. That's all I can ask. And I'm
Clarence,
excited
we
about that.
want to wish you the very best of luck, and keep them going over at Central High School, and we'll be following you as well.
All right, thank you, sir. I appreciate everything.
Stay with us on Inside Tulsa Athletics. When we come back, we're going to talk to Emily Edwards, the head POM coach at Edison High School, just won a state championship. Stay with us. We're coming right back.
Action!
Are you suffering from stuff? Stuff you don't know how to get rid of? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. Learn how to get rid of stuff easily and properly. TulsaRefuse.org. Just give us a click. It's that simple.
We continue Inside Tulsa Athletics as we welcome aboard the POM sponsor from Edison High School, Emily Edwards. And Emily, when we talk about the POM sponsor, the POM won a state championship this year.
Yes, we did. Our Edison varsity POM team just won the POM category, so they're state champions, and we're very excited about that.
I think that our audience would like to know more about the program.
Okay.
Because it's not within the State Activities Association. It's independent.
That's correct. We're not OSSAA sponsored, so we're completely self-funded. We do multiple fundraisers throughout the year so that our girls can afford the uniforms and the different competitions that we go to. Here in about 2 weeks, we're going to Florida to compete in a national competition. And we're very excited about that as well. Our girls are trained in many different styles of dance. They can do POM, hip hop, jazz, contemporary, all of it. They're very talented dancers.
How many girls do you have in the program?
Right now we have 17 between the freshman and the varsity program, but we also have a booming middle school program as well.
Practicing. When do you practice, and tell us about that?
So on average, our girls put in about 15 hours a week all year round. We don't have a specific season like some other sports do. We're a year-round sport. So about average 15 hours a week. In that they're working out, targeting different muscle groups, they're stretching, and they're practicing technique of skills and also learning choreography for different dances that we do throughout the year.
Well, how often do you have a contest like you win the state contest? You're going to go to Florida. How often do you have contests?
So we have, in the beginning of the year, I believe in September or October, we have a Tulsa State Fair competition, which is a local regional competition. We also have a regional competition for DTU, Dance Team Union, which is the organization that puts on our nationals. And then we also have state, which is usually in December, but it was rescheduled this year because of the blizzard that we didn't have. And then we go to nationals every year in February.
How do you go about getting all of this information down to the girls?
Well, technology is our friend. We use GroupMe's for the parents and for the girls also to communicate all of that information. It's the fastest way.
We have about a minute left. Do you have some people you really want to recognize for being a big part of your success?
Absolutely. Sarah Ivy is the head pom coach. She came to this program at Edison about 12 years ago, and she has built it basically from the ground up. She has been a mentor and a coach and a friend to every girl that has come through this program. I myself am an alumni of the program, and I stayed close with Sarah Ivy throughout college, and whenever the position came to teach at Edison, it was a given that I would be a part of the POM program as well. So Sarah Ivy is a fantastic leader for the Edison POM program.
And you see this growing as the time goes by?
Absolutely. We have great alumni involvement. Right now, 2 of our middle school coaches are also alumni of the program. So it just continues to grow.
Emily, we want to thank you very much for coming aboard and sharing that with us and with our audience. Want to wish you continued success at Edison High School. And as a former teacher and coach at Edison, I have a warm feeling toward what happens at Edison, and I know that you have done a marvelous job. So congratulations again.
Thank you very much.
Stay with us on Inside Tulsa Athletics. When we come back, we're going to visit with Conley Phipps, the head basketball coach at Booker T. Washington.
Hey, you.
Yeah, you. Getting that college education? What are you gonna do? Graduate and take some office job? Be like everybody else?
Or will you dare do something different?
Like, be a teacher. You could be my teacher. You got the skills.
The smarts?
Yes, you. You could be the teacher I never forget.
That'd be cool.
Does that corporate job even have recess? What are you gonna make of yourself?
What are you gonna make of me?
Are you suffering from stuff? Stuff you don't know how to get rid of? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. Learn how to get rid of stuff easily and properly. TulsaRefuse.org. Just give us a click. It's that simple.
We continue Inside Tulsa Athletics as we welcome aboard Conley Phipps, the head basketball coach at Booker T. Washington High School. And Coach Phipps, when we take a look at what's happened with your Hornets winning the Tournament of Champions. Now, I know that happened back last year, at the end of last year, but it's still, you'll remember it forever.
We'll remember it forever. Our guys will remember it forever. I mean, they enjoy that atmosphere and getting invited to that, and to be a Tournament of Champions champion.
That's right.
Is something that we'll never forget.
Now, you won't have to play Memorial the rest of the year, right?
No, that was a one-time deal, and great game between 2 TPS schools, and it was everything that everybody thought it would be. And we were fortunate. We came away with the win.
Well, I'll tell you what, I can't wait to see what happens in the playoffs, because we could be looking at 6A and 5A state champions in Memorial and Booker T. Washington.
Well, I think for sure, Memorial's the favorite in 5A after winning the last 2 years, and Coach Allison does a great job, has another great team, and I certainly agree with you. Booker T, we're definitely in the hunt for a 6A state championship.
Well, when you take a look, you have had some players that's come along that maybe at the beginning of the year you didn't expect to be where they are?
Yeah, you know, one young man for sure, Mike McHenry, came up big in the Tournament of Champions. You know, he had 6 threes in the semifinals against a really, really good Kingfisher team. He had 2 big threes in the final game against Memorial, and so he's stepped up, and he's the, you know, the 5th starter that not a lot of people know about, but you know, when that 5th starter is capable of making 6 threes in a game, you got a chance to be pretty good.
Yes, that's 18 points, isn't it? And that's something that, as I watch basketball at all levels, it seems like that 3-point shooting has become just almost a habit for all of them.
Yeah, you know, I was playing in college in '87 when the 3-point line, you know, went into effect in high school and college basketball, and you know, even those guys could shoot it out there, didn't shoot it as often as players do now. You know, it's just second nature now. It's like a layup, you know. So it's a big factor in games. It's a great equalizer, or it's a great separator.
When you take a look at what is coming up, do you have kids that's going to be, now you're 2 good ones. Your son and Thompson both are juniors.
Correct.
So they're going to be back next year.
Correct.
Now, what do you have coming up behind?
Well, I also start another junior that's having a great year for us, Jalen Breath, 6'8", averaging almost a double-double for us. You know, so we'll have him back next year, anchoring the middle, and he's getting better and better every day. You know, and I've got 2 really good freshmen, Cameron Parker and I.J. Johnson, that are doing some good things. And then I've got 2 or 3 sophomores that, you know, have a chance to step up and be big contributors next year.
Because those kids will, when the basketball season's over, even if they go to track or something else, they still will be shooting. And then in the summer league play. And
yeah, I've got, you know, those kids that I have in mind, you know, they play a lot in the spring, and they play AAU in the summer, and they get in the gym. And so they work on their craft, you know, and as any basketball coach will tell you, those are kids you got to have to, you know, to have a really, really good team and have a really good year.
Well, do you have any idea now that you moved into 6A, when you get ready for regional play, do you have any idea what some of the 6A schools that you might be located with?
Well, you know, first of all, the OSAA will have to do the East-West split. You know, and you know, you never know. They may move a couple of teams that you would think would be from the east to the west side for playoffs, and vice versa. You know, obviously on the east side we've got you know, Sapulpa, Jinx, Sand Springs are all off to great starts. You know, on the west side, the Edmond schools, and a couple of the Putnam City schools, you know, will be in the hunt for a state championship. So it'll be interesting when the OSAA comes out with the East-West split, and you know, the last rankings go in 3 weeks, and that's basically what they base the regional pairings off of. So there's a lot of basketball to be played before then.
In 3 weeks, where has this year gone?
Yeah, it's amazing.
But
amazing.
If you're having a good year, that's what makes it fun, isn't it?
No, that's you know, we're fortunate at Booker T. You know, we've got a good team and having a good year, and hopefully we'll stay healthy, and we're, you know, looking forward to the playoffs for sure.
Well, you know, you mentioned something right there that it seems like anymore that there are too many kids that come up with sprained ankles or something of that nature, and it just it's sad. We're about to run out of time here. We could talk so long about the Booker T. Washington Hornets, but we want to wish you the very best of luck, and we'll be following you all the way through, and let's look for a gold ball.
Okay, thanks, Coach. Always good to see you.
Okay. Stay with us on Inside Tulsa Athletics. When we come back, we're going to visit with Phillip Johnson, Athletic Director at McLain High School. That's coming up next on Inside Tulsa Athletics.
Stuff. When you don't want it, what do you do with it? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. There, you'll learn what to do with stuff you don't know what to do with. Just give us a click. TulsaRefuse.org. It's what you do when you don't know what to do with stuff.
My dad's always saying a little extra effort now will really pay off later. Here's how you can put in just a little extra effort and help out our schools in a big way. Just switch your checking account to TTCU. It's easy, and every time you use your school pride card, TTCU donates to our schools. So far, over $1 million. They're the only ones doing that. So make the switch to TTCU and be the person who's making a difference for our schools.
Are you suffering from stuff? Stuff you don't know how to get rid of? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. Learn how to get rid of stuff easily and properly. TulsaRefuse.org. Just give us a click. It's that simple.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics as we welcome aboard Phillip Johnson, who is the Director of Athletics at McLain High School. And Phillip, when we take a look at what happens at McLain, I think I have to say this first. A man by the name of Joshua Jacobs, playing for the University of Alabama. And as the Director of Athletics for McLain High School, you had him 3 years ago. That seemed like just a snap of a finger away, but it's got to be a great asset to McLain to have the success that he's having.
You know, you're right. But not only as an athlete, Joshua was a great student. He was one of those guys who, I had him in class. And if you wanted him to correct some things, no problem correcting. He would always go at least as far as you wanted him to go, and sometimes he would go even further, which is an attribute. That's how he's made his way in football. I'm going to do as much or more than necessary.
Mm-hmm. The thing, I remember reading an article that was in the paper quoting him, and it was talking about the writer asked him why he had stayed at McLain when he could have transferred to Booker T. Washington. He could have transferred to any of the other high schools in Tulsa and played football there. And at that particular point in time, maybe McLain wasn't that good, but his answer was, I am from McLain. I'm a McLain student. I'm playing for McLain.
Yeah, and you need a whole lot more students like that. This is your neighborhood. Represent your neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
He was that way. I can go back to Sean Jackson. Sean Jackson was another one of those guys who could have played anywhere, and trust me, every year he was asked to play somewhere else, but he was loyal to McLain. And you have to believe that you can make it from there. Both of them, Sean and Joshua, will be college graduates. So, when you think about the preparation from McLain High School, the preparation is there.
Well, he has to be, for the kids coming up, they know who he is, where he is, what he has done. And that has to be a great inspiration for them.
Yes, it is a great inspiration. You can hear him talking about it every day in the classroom. You can hear him talking about it in the hallway. Most of them are not necessarily Alabama fans, but they are Joshua Jacobs fans.
That's right.
He's our guy.
Okay, let's turn and take a look here at what's happening at McLain High School. You're building a new gymnasium, and that has to be a great asset, even though sometimes in naming it, it becomes a problem.
That could be an issue, Ultimately, I don't have that decision, and so that's a good thing. But there are some people who we think are probably worthy of the name. But then again, if you just make it a generic name and add those people in there somewhere, I think that they will be honored either way.
What about the new gym is so much better that's going to be for the student body and for the athletes that work out in the gym than the old gym?
Well, first of all, we're going to have state-of-the-art areas. We're going to have, the main gym, and then we'll have an auxiliary gym, which will open up a lot of practice times. Right now, we have one gymnasium, and we have 5 or 6 teams trying to get practice time in that one gymnasium. So we will be able to at least have 2 practices, in the small gym, and then 2 practices in the larger gym, which would alleviate a lot of time. There's going to be a wrestling room there. There's going to be a locker room for the wrestlers. Of course, we'll be able to play volleyball, and wrestling will be able to wrestle there. So they're excited about it. We're all excited about it.
Overall, how do you look at the athletic program at the McLain High School?
Overall, we have some ups and downs, and right now we're kind of in that valley. But I always look forward to the progress that they're making. And they're making progress. We just talked about Randy in basketball, and He's won a few games, and they're ascending. They're going up. You can see that. In football, we won a few games, but you could see the difference game in and game out, or even from one quarter to the next quarter, that they're in the right direction. They're going in the right direction. So I think that we're going to be okay.
And you take a look at spring sports. You are in track and field, and what about spring sports at McLain?
Well, spring sports bring in track and field. I'm one of the coaches in track and field, and we usually do pretty well. We have some representatives that represent us in the state tournament. But our soccer program has really taken off. Last year we played with probably, 80% freshmen. 80% freshmen, maybe a couple of juniors and seniors, and then the other part was sophomores. So that squad actually went to the playoffs and won a couple of games in the playoffs. And we're talking about 14-year-old kids playing against, 17 and 18-year-old young men. Mm-hmm. So we're really excited about the soccer program.
How about the girls program?
The girls program, we're struggling with the girls program. Made an announcement today to make sure that if you guys really want to play soccer, you need to have a meeting. We've been having 7 or 8 girls out, and of course that's not going to be enough to play. But in track and field, both girls and boys, they're very competitive.
Well, when you take a look at it as it stands today, you seem to be optimistic about it coming and growing, and it seems like in recent years that so many schools have kind of had bounces. They're up and they're down. So you're coming back up, and that's what you like.
I like that. When you look at it and it looks like it's going downhill, that's kind of frustrating and disheartening, but I can see the positives there.
Phillip, always good to have you aboard here as the director of athletics at McLain High School. Good luck on the new gym, and we'll see you again.
All right, thank you.
Stay with us on Inside Tulsa Athletics. Coming up, we're going to visit with Mick Wilson, Assistant Director of Athletics for the Tulsa Public Schools. That's next, Inside Tulsa Athletics.
We just finished dinner and it was time for homework. He hates homework. I know he's bright.
Why is it so hard for me?
He's just
trying
gotta
as
try a
hard
little
as
harder.
I can.
1 in 5 children struggle with learning and attention issues. Go from misunderstanding to understood.org.
Are you suffering from stuff? Stuff you don't know how to get rid of? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. Learn how to get rid of stuff easily and properly. TulsaRefuse.org. Just give us a click. It's that simple.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics as we bring aboard Mick Wilson, Assistant Director of Athletics for the Tulsa Public Schools. And Mick, what you do with the BOK Showcase, what you do with the Tournament of Champions, I'm telling you, that is great basketball for the fans of Tulsa.
It's easy to do when you have a lot of fun, and we've got a great team at the athletic department, so we all work together real well, and just makes for a good time.
You have any closing comments that you'd like to make, or maybe share with the public in with the Tournament of Champions this year? I thought it was just unbelievable.
It was another really grand year. We did really well. Our basketball fans and our community just came out and really supported us. And 2 really great championship, a lot of great games, but the 2 championship games were phenomenal. Obviously, we were proud of our Booker T. Washington Hornets defeating our Memorial Chargers, and that's makes it hard to root for one or the other. But either way, we were going to come out on top, and just shows the quality of basketball that we have in the district. So we're really proud of both teams. And then obviously the Muldrow girls pulled off a monumental task by beating 6A number 1 Edmond Memorial. So that was a great year. It was a lot of fun. Built a lot of great relationships with the basketball community and want to continue to do that. But we had a great time. It was another successful year. And I think our kids, not only the kids of Tulsa Public that participated and assisted us with our endeavors, but just all the kids that came and participated had a great time. So it was a fun event for not only the basketball fans, but for the kids as well.
Well, I thought the girls basketball fans and coming and watching Muldrow, I've said this so many times, I can't remember watching a girls team play that all 5 or 6 as they substituted were capable of scoring. But it just always seems like that there were 1 or 2 players that wouldn't score. Muldrow it didn't make a difference who shot the ball, they could hit it.
No, I think right now, if you were to poll all the coaches in the state of Oklahoma, Muldrow might be the top girls team in the state, any classification. Obviously, Taylon Collins is an unbelievable talent. What fun it is to watch her play. She will be, when it's all said and done, probably one of the best players in the history of girls basketball in Oklahoma. She's just phenomenal and fun to watch. But Muldrow has such a great team that goes around her. Those kids play so well and do such a good job. And Coach Armour is a class act, and she does a great job. So it'll be fun. They are going to return to the tournament champions next year, so it'll be fun to watch how much more they develop and how much better they can get.
And they bring a big crowd. Okay, let's take a look now at the BOK Showcase, because that's something that is growing. It has grown and has become very popular.
It has, and we've got great support from the guys down at the SMG group, Evan Fallett and Joe Giordano, those guys, and recently departed Jeff Nickler. We all, Gil and myself and those three, were on the ground floor putting this thing together, and to see it grow and to get better, it's just been a lot of fun. And so those guys are excited about it, as we are as well. But we've got a good lineup. We think we've got a good cross section of teams throughout Northeast Oklahoma that will come and bring some people into the BOK Center. And what a great opportunity for the kids to get a chance to play in such a world-class venue as the BOK Center, and be able to come and play and have a good time.
You know, that's the thing that as you go watch it, that you can see among the fans as well as the students that come, and then the players on the court. They just feel so good about being in such a fabulous basketball arena.
It's fantastic, and like I said, they play on the city of Tulsa. That's their court, and so we'll have that put down, and the games will be played right there. So it'll be a neat deal. 9 o'clock, Oologah Girls and Hilldale. 10 o'clock, Metro Christian and Regent Prep. At noon, East Central Girls and Bishop Kelly. 1:30, Owasso Boys and Bartlesville. 3 o'clock, Union Girls and Broken Arrow. 4:30, Memorial and Edison Boys. 6 o'clock, Booker T. Washington and Bartlesville Girls. And the nightcap will be 7:30, Booker T. Washington Boys and Sand Springs. So it'll be a tremendous lineup. Like I said, it'll be a good cross-section of teams from the Tulsa metro area, Northeast Oklahoma, and we're excited about it.
It's kind of like the Tournament of Champions. You go down there, maybe you were going down there just to watch the 10 o'clock. No, then you get to watch the 11:30. Then you stay until it's all over. What a wonderful day of high school basketball.
Well, the great thing about it is the tickets you buy will scan you in all day. You can come and go as you see fit. If there's a game you want to watch early, but maybe skip out for a while and come back and catch a game later, they've got it set up where you can scan to get in and out during the day. You need to hang on to your ticket if you plan to do that, rather than just come and stay. So the basketball fan can come, go eat lunch if they want to somewhere downtown, and then come back. And of course, need to probably get there early because the parking will fill up quickly. And I don't know that we haven't talked really much about what the lots will be charging that day, but you'll need to come and try to find some good parking spots, the free ones if you can, as soon as possible. But it'll be a great day of basketball.
Well, for one day, parking is always a problem. But it seems like that if you just have to go to one day to do it, you're going to figure out a way that you can find a place to park. And then once you get in there, and I couldn't help but think this when you talk about eating, hey, their concession stands there are delicious.
Plenty of good places to eat inside, and you don't have to venture out if you don't want, so it'll be just fine.
Well, it seems to me like that it is growing in popularity every year, and as a result of it, why that helps high school basketball, both boys and girls, in metropolitan Tulsa.
It really does, and Gil and I have had this conversation. You know, we started in a small room of us getting together talking about this, and it just has grown measurably, and we're excited about it. So I think it'll be another good year of high school basketball. And this really is a great way to prepare some of these teams as they get ready to start traveling for venues for playoffs. It gives you kind of that playoff environment feel.
Mick, you do a great job, and continue doing it, and we'll see you at the BOK.
Thank you, JV.
Stay with us on Inside Tulsa Athletics. When we come back, Gil Cloud, Director of Athletics for the Tulsa Public Schools, will join us as we continue Inside Tulsa Athletics.
Stuff. When you don't want it, what do you do with it? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. There, you'll learn what to do with stuff you don't know what to do with. Just give us a click. TulsaRefuse.org. It's what you do when you don't know what to do with stuff.
My dad's always saying a little extra effort now will really pay off later. Here's how you can put in just a little extra effort and help out our schools in a big way. Just switch your checking account to TTCU. It's easy, and every time you use your school pride card, TTCU donates to our schools. So far, over $1 million. They're the only ones doing that. So make the switch to TTCU and be the person who's making a difference for our schools.
Are you suffering from stuff? Stuff you don't know how to get rid of? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. Learn how to get rid of stuff easily and properly. TulsaRefuse.org. Just give us a click. It's that simple.
We continue inside Tulsa Athletics as we welcome aboard the athletic director of the Tulsa Public Schools, Gil Cloud. And Gil, when we take a look at what is happening today, athletic-wise, I mean, it seems like every week it's different.
You know, it's an exciting time, JV. We have our Tournament of Champions, which was very successful. Mick talked about earlier on the show today, and we've got the Hall of Fame this week. And you know, when people watch this on Wednesday night, they've got about a window of about an hour and a half Thursday morning to buy a ticket because we're just about sold out. But we certainly would, if they wanted to call our office at the Education Service Center, we would have a ticket for them. And we never turn down anybody. You know, standing room only, we can do that.
Sure,
yes, that's not
absolutely.
a problem. And then in February we have the BOK showcase. So it just seems like it lines up every year, where every month there's really a showcase type event. You know, with the Tournament of Champions in December, the Hall of Fame in January, and the BOK showcase in February. So
you know what always really gets me, and this happens very frequently, that when the Hall of Fame is announced, and someone will stop me and say, I had forgotten about so-and-so. Man, that's good. I mean, everyone has been happy with the selection that's been made for the Hall of Fame.
And it's a difficult thing, as you know, being
yeah.
on the committee, because we have so many. And you know, one of the things that I plan to address tomorrow night at the banquet is to say, just because you're in the 7th class doesn't mean you're any less than those that were in the 1st class. It just meant that we could only do so many.
That's right.
The thing that's unique about this year's Hall of Fame, we actually have 7 going in posthumously, and 6, I mean, and that's the largest number of posthumous inductions that we've had. But what great ones: Tommy Evans, the legendary college wrestling coach at the University of Oklahoma, who was a Will Rogers graduate. Jim Shoulders, 16-time world champion cowboy, who was a student athlete at East Central. You know, Ulysses S. Mitchell, who played for the Booker T. Washington Hornets in 1926 and then came back and coached with S.E. Williams, another Hall of Famer who went in. Had a very distinguished career. We just got some really, really outstanding people. Locally, Larry Miller, a lot of people know Larry Miller of the Larry Miller Swim Schools and all that business. He's going in this year, and what an athlete still yet today. He does that Ironman triathlon situation and so on. So it's really a great evening to hear the stories about how these people matriculated through their high school years and how it helped them when they got to be a professional out in the field. And you know, it's really, I think it's really a neat night, and we really appreciate one of our corporate partners, TTCU, has purchased 2 tables and donated those 2 tables. So a member from each school of our Student Athlete Advisory Committee can come at no cost to them. And our 9 athletic directors at the 9 high schools can come at no cost to them because TTCU has donated that table. So that's a great thing, and to have the community to be involved like they are, it's always an exciting time.
And you know what is so much fun is when you get there and you start talking to some of the people and you see some friends that you may have had 20, 25 years ago and hadn't seen them since then. And they come and they start talking about the school. They start talking about the program that they went through. I mean, it's just a great night for anyone who enjoys athletics.
Well, one of the toughest things we have to do, we have the social hour, you know, from 5:30 to 6:30, is getting everybody in at 6:30 to get started, because they want to continue to tell those stories and relive those times that they spent when they were walking the halls of the Tulsa high schools. And so it's really a great opportunity to go back in time for a little bit and see how things were at one time. And you know, as we move through, I think it's really fantastic for our young student athletes to be able to hear these testimonies and then go back to their schools and talk about how these people were so successful, you know, in their careers after they left Tulsa Public Schools.
Well, you know, that's the thing that always gets me is it seems like for a month or so after the banquet that you run into someone and they'll bring it up. Now, maybe they didn't go, but they had a friend who went who told them. So it just starts, a word of mouth goes throughout metropolitan Tulsa, throughout the state of Oklahoma.
Well, we'll be around 300 in attendance. You know, we've been right around 300 every year, and that's about a sellout for us. And so it's a great event. I think it's something that epitomizes the structure and the value of Tulsa Public Schools educationally. And I think we lose that sometimes. We lose that now. You know, people say, well, I've got to go to this charter school, or I've got to go to a private school to get the kind of education I want. I think they can get a good education in Tulsa Public Schools. I think we're educating people very well.
I agree. We have a little over a minute left. Anything else going on from the State Department and from the Oklahoma Secondary School Activity Association?
Well, I think there's going to be some movement or some discussion about Bill Hastings' article about the triple header for the 2 6As and the 5A. Personally, locally, I'm excited. Josh Jacobs, our McLain graduate who played for Alabama, is entering the NFL draft.
And he'll go high.
He'll go high, and he's a prototypical running back in the National Football League. Really proud of him, excited for him, and so on. But I think we'll have a more update really pretty soon from the OSSAA. Now I'll be gone for a little while. You know, I've got to get a new knee, and but we don't have another OIAAA meeting until after I'm back, and so we'll be back in April, and we'll go through some things I think at that point in time, because a lot of those things that Bill brought up in his column do have merit.
Well, you know, that was a thing that that really crossed my mind. I thought the higher enrolled schools could look for it. The lower schools, I don't think would like that at this particular time, maybe in the future. We're out of time. Always a pleasure having you aboard, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
You bet.
Stay with us. More coming up on Inside Tulsa Athletics right after this.
Are you suffering from stuff? Stuff you don't know how to get rid of? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. Learn how to get rid of stuff easily and properly. TulsaRefuse.org. Just give us a click. It's that simple.
Thanks for being with us today on Inside Tulsa Athletics. Hope you enjoyed the show, and more importantly, we want to encourage you to get out and support the high school athletic programs of the Tulsa Public Schools. The young men and the young women really working hard. They need your support. And of course, we will be back in 2 weeks. Hope to see you then on Inside Tulsa Athletics.